Welcome to Food and Loathing, coming to you from fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, where everything is on sale and it's no longer triple digit heat.
Thank God.
All right. I'm Al Mancini, and despite that plug, I'm actually not employed by the Convention and Visitors Authority, at least not today. I'm just tired of the bullshit narrative that Las Vegas is unaffordable, which was probably started by some influencer or journalist who actually had to pay for something on some luxury trip that was otherwise comped. We are here today, as we are every week, to talk food. And when I say we, I mean myself, Al Mancini, my co-host Gemini Stevens, our producer Rich Johnson in Seattle, and whatever chefs we managed to interview. And trust me, we've got a buttload of them today. A buttload of
A
chefs.
buttload. That's going to be the new American measurement because we don't do anything, by any
Yeah,
measurable,
no metric.
no logical measurable standard. Anyways, you might as well just use a buttload of chefs.
I think that should be my memoir, a bus full of musicians and a buttload of chefs.
That is oddly kind of appropriate. I don't know. Okay,
Right?
we are getting way off now.
Yeah, so we got a great show coming up. We're going to be joined once again by our happy hour expert, Andrew Morgan, who's going to be bringing us his usual happy hour report. He also has an interview that he did at the opening of the Mob Museum's new Starlight Place. We're doing this show remotely via Zoom because we live in the 21st century and that's how people do shit these days. How's that
And
Zoom working for you?
oh, hey, for me for today, it's working good. I think we're all right.
Cool. Are you in OKC tonight,
I
Oklahoma
am
City?
in OKC tonight. Yeah, I got back here late Sunday night, technically, I guess early Monday morning, um, which just felt a little weird. I even posted on social media yesterday. I spent the day in the kitchen. I made some really tasty food and thought, I feel like I haven't been here in like 6 weeks. And I know that I have been, but I haven't been anywhere for very long lately. So it was nice to just kind of breathe for a minute, have my dog run in after daycare yesterday and just kind of hang out. So yeah, it's been good.
Well, it was nice having you back in Vegas last week.
Thanks.
I was very happy about
I'm
that.
gonna bug you again next week too. Don't worry about that.
Good deal. So, everybody out there, we've got a great show for you this week. In the center, we have a nice long interview with pastry chef Korey Wells of Whiskful Thinking Cakes. But you're also going to hear from chefs James Trees, Fabio Viviani, and Daniela Romero, as well as a representative of the Hospitality Charitable Foundation, and the woman who forages for Gjelina, Bethanny Harris.
Fun.
Yeah, but before we get to any of that, we'd like to talk a bit about where we've been eating. It's been a busy week for me. How about you, Gemini?
I was able to get some more stuff in there since I saw you when we were interviewing with Chef Jamie. So quick, I did go back to Black Sheep. My brother happened to be in town. John was in town with me for a little while. So we went on Saturday night and we had a lot of the same dishes you and I already had. So I'm not going to rehash those, but I did want to throw out, some of your favorites, like she talked about last week, are still there. So of course we had the salmon skin tacos, which were fantastic and crispy and like three different kinds of salmon between the skin, the inside of the taco, and some salmon eggs. We had the hot vegan noodle dish, which is really good. The mushrooms were really kind of cool and crispy on the outside. And by cool, I mean like awesome. Crispy on the outside, but super tender when you're biting through them. Really got a nice spice on that dish. Lots of veg texture in all the right ways. And her rice noodles are just beautiful. So really, really enjoyed that. And then one of the things she wanted us to try was we also had the steak tartare, long time classic with the beef crisp underneath it. But one of the things she wanted us to try that was fairly new was the prime ribeye. And it was really lovely. We had that. It comes out pre-sliced, usually a pet peeve of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you were going to be a professional charging me, 40, 50, $60 for a steak, you should know how to cook that steak. This was fine. It was cooked perfectly well. The only comment I had when Chef came out was that I think I just wanted a little bit of salt. But she did bring out some really nice onion butter that it comes on the dish, but I was saying that I kind of wanted to taste more of it, and I'm glad I did. So the sauce was really great. Had, of course, her Asian influences in there, but also with some really kind of modern, fun twists. There was richness on the dish, there was brightness on the dish. So yeah, really appreciated that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Also, they have some fun cocktails. I have some photos, but I don't remember if I took a picture of the menu, so I'm not going to pretend I remember all the details. But they have a little something for everybody, which I really appreciated. I had a take on a whiskey sour. They had takes on like a really fun Asian Manhattan. They had like an old fashioned type drink. All of these relate to a lot of classics that people are going to go for, but with their twist, a lot like what they do with some of the food. So definitely get back over there. I got to see Dan Cromer briefly. He wasn't cooking that night, but he happened to be in Other Mama when I went in with my brother and another friend of ours. We just sat at the bar. We were there just in time for happy hour, which, if you haven't been in for happy hour, I know you have, specifically Al.
Oh yeah.
But as you can get a few pieces of nigiri for a couple of bucks a pop. They've got drink specials. They've got all kinds of stuff you can dig into. So we did that because there were some specific bites that we really wanted as far as the fresh fish is concerned. We also got one tasting menu to share, which you can do. I know that's pretty rare with tasting menus, but
Yeah.
because they do everything so on the fly and because it is that sushi house sort of standard, the portions are huge. Our waitress was really amazing, helping us make sure that we were making the right choices for three people. Because as you know, I have two bites of something and I want to move on to something else anyway.
Right. It's the only
Um,
way I could eat the number of things that are put in
exactly.
front of you and I in an average week.
Precisely. So thankfully, my two guests were hearty eaters, and that worked out really well. But yeah, so we had a tasting menu, which I do believe I photo of. I'll get that up on social media, which is very inexpensive. I think it's 70 or $75. You get like six or seven dishes. That includes some ice cream. And you get some nigiri in there, you get some hot dishes in there, you have lamb, you have fish, you have pork. I mean, just so many wonderful options. And I think we may have picked one other dish to add. I haven't done Durango Social Club yet, so I'm gonna make that happen when I come back next. But it was a really great visit to Other Mama. I hadn't been there in probably 6 months or more, and just as always, super fresh. I love that the fresh choices change. Oh, we did had some really great oysters, and I just want to give a special shout out for that because I know we've been talking a lot about oysters lately. They have like five or six different options. There are very few places in town, especially if you're running around for some happy hour or something like that, where you can get that many choices. Two or
They
three, I get it, but
Dan
oh,
always has a great selection.
isn't
And
that amazing?
what's amazing to me is that you're there on Durango. If those of you who don't know where Other Mama is, it's over by Desert Breeze Park, and you go there, and they've got a ton of great oysters. And then
Yeah,
right across the street at the Legends Oyster Bar,
I
which is also
know.
like on
Yes,
DI and Durango,
which is one of my favorites as well.
they usually have like four,
Yeah.
five, six varieties of
Oh,
oysters. So, I mean, Desert Breeze Park is the neighborhood for
that
oysters, man.
on our side of town, it absolutely is. Just really loved it. And there, I got to ask some questions and make some notes for my own edification. I don't know enough of it, so I'm not going to pretend to try and educate anybody on this show today. But it was just really cool to find out about the different regions that they get their stuff from and why they choose the different ones that they do. So, yeah, if you haven't been in there for a while, I mean, I've talked about Legends recently, so I'm glad you brought that up. If you haven't been into Other Mama in a while, definitely go in there. The fresh options are amazing, and we were there. I forget what night it was, but it was a weeknight. I thought about making a reservation, but there was a lot of openings on their online. I believe it's Open Table that they use, so didn't worry about it. And we only had maybe a 5 minute wait, and we were still able to sit at the bar together. Three of us. We took over a corner so we wouldn't,
No, were you in the main dining room bar or were
yeah, we
you in the
went to the main
side
dining
bar?
room bar. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because I
Because we
love
wanted
that
to watch.
sidebar.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
The,
that sidebar is
the,
awesome.
the main dining room can be tough to get into,
It
as you
can.
say, right? I've never walked in where I wasn't able to grab a seat at that sidebar where they serve me everything that I want right there.
Exactly. Yeah. I think
So,
that's lovely.
yeah.
And then one other one I want to throw out there that we did a couple things actually. I ordered breakfast one morning from Cafe Brezza, I think is how you say it, Briezh.
I always thought it was
Um,
Breeze, but I don't know.
I'll go with either.
I just made that up, so don't trust me. It's just what I
I've
say in
heard
my head.
Brej, so I'm going to put it in the middle there. They have some of my favorite croissants in town, first same day. I've talked a lot about croissants on this show. Some of them I find are too doughy or even bready versus that lovely, buttery, big, open crumb that croissants get. We all know I'm in love with. There's a little place here in OKC called Jack's Bakehouse. I can walk there in the morning, damn near not even putting shoes on. So I get a little bit picky. I love the stuff down. I love the ones over at 1228 Main. But this time, we wanted just to have some stuff delivered to the house because I had a landscaper coming over and we were having a meeting and it was so good. But I will tell you, these are huge croissants. And if you get the French breakfast, which I thought I was getting, the three of us would share some stuff. I think I
Mm.
got two of those and a couple of other bites and some extra like jam and butter because you just never know. We ended up, I swear to God, they had to give us five baguettes. They're all
This is
sliced
what you
up.
got for your fucking landscapers?
Yeah.
You are
Landscaper,
so nice,
my
man.
my
You're like a
husband, my
nice
brother, like,
person.
yeah, I mean, I want to be.
I give
And
people a $20 bill as they leave and say thank you. Don't let the door hit you in the
here's
ass
the
on the
thing,
way out.
that I'm extra. You come to my house, it doesn't matter what you want to drink. I ask you if you want a cocktail ball. I ask you if you want a square. I ask you if you want fridge ice. I ask you if you want pebble ice. I got you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to come over, I'm going to take care of you. I promise.
No shit, man. Get a job working at Gemini's house. You'll eat better than you ever ate before.
But they just brought so much food. Like the croissants themselves were bigger than anything I have seen in a while. Like I know obviously this is an audio medium, but I'm holding my two hands together and I got big hands and long nails. I'm like, what? I can't even. They are so big. And then again, the sliced up baguette gives you the feeling, okay, we've got a couple of boxes of baguette. No, there's like five or six full baguettes in there. And they give you marmalade, which I loved. I hope they make it themselves. I didn't call in question. I probably should have because it was an orange marmalade. It was super bitter, which I really liked. Lots of nice, thin skin in there. Their French butter that they give you is great. I also did a retail purchase because they have some really great European French butter that they just sell. And then we got a berry compote of some sort that they did. So yeah, we didn't get anything fancy, just some breads and some toppings to go with it. Oh, we did get a pate, country pate, the thicker stuff with like the chunks and the pistachios. Really, really lovely. So super happy with them. And then on Sunday, before we all had to get going towards an airport, we went to Winnie and Ethel's for breakfast. And I haven't been there in a while. And horror, and I'm kidding, I waited a whole 10 minutes. This place was hopping. There had to be 17 people out front when we arrived. I put our name in. They said the wait was only going to be 5 or 10 minutes. We said, that's more than fine. The weather is perfect. We are just kind of hanging out. People had their dogs, so we got to pet some new dogs. They know how to get the people through there. And I'm just so glad that they were so busy because there have been times I've been in there going, come on, guys, why aren't more people here? But to be fair,
Yeah,
this was a
maybe.
Sunday morning. I hadn't been there on a Sunday morning in a while. But
But you do wonder who's down there, right? Because that
yeah,
neighborhood, right? Like who goes to the Hunt Ridge neighborhood on a Sunday? I mean, you
right.
do have a lot of you have some neighborhood people back there, I guess, right? That like the downtown people that live in that what John S.
Absolutely.
Park neighborhood or
Yep.
whatever. That's
Huntridge and
not too
John S.
far.
are both right there. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, well good
Um,
for them, man. They're good
Oh,
people and I'm
and
glad they're doing
so
well.
yeah, and so my brother had the biscuits and gravy. They do homemade biscuits. It's a really big portion. He got half and half on the gravy because they offer a quote regular sausage gravy, which to me I might even call a black pepper gravy. The sausage and the pepper in there were beautifully present. And then they have a chorizo gravy, which I also really enjoyed. John and I had something similar but different. We had the poutine version of that. So what they call potato haystack, which is basically shoestring fries. They put some cheese on there. They put the gravies on there. And then, of course, we got an egg to make it all gooey. And that was really lovely as well. But we saw some massive, beautiful food coming out. I mean, I saw cinnamon rolls and huge, thick pieces of French toast. Their egg cookery was absolutely perfect. We got sunny side on ours, and it had just that little crisp on the edge of the white. The rest of the white was super tender. And of course, that yolk was nice and runny into the rest of the gravy and the potatoes to make it all nice and saucy. So, really, really awesome. But yeah, they have got that dialed in. They made it look like if you'd walked up to any place else, it would have been a 45-minute wait or plus. And yeah, I don't think it was 10 minutes. They had us seated. Some more people came in. There ended up being a little bit of wait. They got them through. And the menu has changed a bit. There's been some updates. So some of the sandwiches are a little bit different. Some of the salads are a little bit different. They also, just as a reminder, do dinner, which I still haven't done. I am behind on that. So they have a break after 2 o'clock, and then they start dinner service, I think, at 5. So just really, really great service, great food, enjoyable people on their game. I mean, absolutely perfect experience if you have to have one. So, yeah.
All
Other
right.
than that, I think that's what I was able to fit in outside of, I think hospital crap uh,
Right. Uh,
between
yeah.
seeing you and today.
Yeah. Well, that's a hell of a lot. Good for you, man. Um, yeah, I spent half this week trying to fix computers and fix cars, neither of which I'm any good at. So that's been a nightmare. But you know what? I won't go into that. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Where have I been eating? Hey, Hot Nudes. Have you been down to Hot Nudes in the El Cortez?
I confess I have not. Yeah, I
This is
need
Hot
to.
Nudes, Noods, as in hot noodles, by the
Yep.
way. And it comes to us from Ken and Kitty Heck and their family, who are the people who brought us Chinglish. I miss Chinglish a lot, so it was great to pop into Hot Nudes, hang out. You know that El Cortez, that new renovation they've done down at that one end. Place looks really, really nice, and this is a very nice addition to it. Kind of next to their show bar there.
Yep.
Big space. I don't know what to tell you. It's the neon lights up, a very cool vibe. I did Pawpaw's dumplings, which I miss so badly
Oh,
from
so good.
Chinglish. I also did some tempura udon, some pad thai, all very good. So shout out to my friends over there at Hot Nudes. Then one of my nights where I went to a million places, Gjelina. I have
Mm,
not been to Gjelina in the Venetian since they opened.
okay.
So it was cool to get in there. Somebody invited me in. Happy to go in. They are part of a family business that began in Venice, California. It also includes a bakery, grocery store, houseware store, flower shop, a hotel in Venice, as well as restaurants in New York and the Venetian.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and I never really understood what their deal was all about, right? But we were there to meet their farm liaison or slash West Coast Farmers Market buyer, right? And
Okay.
her name was Bethanny, and really, really cool woman. We went into the private dining room, and there were these massive displays of produce laid out, right? So before we ate, she gave us a little tour, and to talk about somebody who loves their job. I mean, this tour went on for fucking ever because she kept getting sidetracked to tell us about another rare variety of fucking thing that one farmer had, which was fine with me because I'm a goddamn food nerd, and if I have the chance to meet somebody like that, it's very exciting for me. I have a good time.
Absolutely.
So that was a lot of fun. And then we sat down and we did the food. And before I talk about the specific dishes, here's and that's basically their deal, right? They are farm to table, but by that they mean they are very, very serious in all of their businesses, using products that this woman Bethanny and her team source, and she knows all the farms, and she knows all the farmers, and she knows what they all have. And seriously, just talk to her for 5 minutes, which will turn into 20 minutes, I promise you, but that's okay. You'll be interested the whole fucking time, and you will just be like, wow, you really know fucking California farms, right? It'll just blow your mind. So before I talk about specific dishes, here's my interview with Bethanny Harris, and we're going to begin with her explaining the actual concept behind Gjelina.
Taking the best of the ingredients available from small family farms, doing as minimal and letting them shine on their own light in a way that allows you to enjoy them in a simple family style format. But also, that.
Okay.
It's definitely more like geared toward. I know that here in Vegas, there's definitely more of an individual, like I want my steak, you want your pasta. But at large, the format's more like shareable, communal, and encouraging you to taste your dining partner's meal.
A lot of people talk sustainable, a lot of people talk farm to table, and I'm not saying that some of them are full of shit, but what I am saying is nobody seems to do it to the level that you guys do it, at least nobody that I know of. Could you just go into the detail? How many farms do you go to during your job? What are you constantly looking for? What's your life and the people in your department's life in order to bring this restaurant to what it is?
So on a date, like when we go to the market 3 times a week, we go to Wednesday Santa Monica, we go to Saturday Santa Monica, and we go to Sunday Hollywood. On Wednesday, we're picking up from at least 30 different farms. On Saturday and Sundays kind of like splits the difference. So it's like the equal to Wednesday is split between Saturday and Sunday because those same farms don't attend the exact same market. Right. But because of that, it's like we have a ongoing roster and kind of like mental Rolodex of what everyone is growing at that time. Looking at like my best resource is the photos that I've taken over the years of when something first comes into season, when something looks best, and looking back at that to remind the farmer of like, oh, Laura, how are your pomegranates doing right now? When do we expect to see them here at market? Alex, when are your honey nut going to be back? So that we can give the team a heads up that we're going to start shifting the agnolotti from corn to honey nut squash, and just kind of tasting everything. Be it at market, at pre-shift, my job is to taste. So I have to be my chef's taste buds at the market so that like in that moment I can be like, okay, let's just take 5 pounds. Just as a taster, we'll do whatever it is, we'll make use of it. Like nothing needs to go to waste. And then once in-house, something gets over-ripened or like past what's perfect for charcuterie or for fruit plate, then that moves to shrub, that moves to sorbet, that moves to jam. So there's a whole ecosystem in the back end so that all the things that we're bringing in can be utilized, and then that also provides wiggle room for the farms that we work with, where it's like Lori can be like, oh, we have an excess of raspberries or we have an excess of strawberries. Can you move through these things? And I'll be like, yes, we'll take away, we'll make shrub, Juicer will make jam, and Gjelina will make sorbet. Boom. We've moved 100 pounds just in that moment. Sorry, that's not the answer, but kind of like...
No, that was great.
Yeah.
And it leads to this question. A lot of the chefs I know who are really into farm-to-table stuff, they are completely at the mercy of the seasons and their foragers, right? They may not know how they're designing a menu until the truck rolls in and they know what gets off there. Given that you have so many farmers and you know exactly what all of them make, which drives which? Does the season, does what a farmer has drive your menu, or do you go out looking for things that the chef has suggested?
The market drives the menu. With a consideration for like an anticipation of something that's on a wish list. Mm-hmm. So it could be like, we want to switch over the agnolotti set, or we want to switch up the duck confit. Is such and such available yet? So that will kind of like push the needle to be more, I wouldn't say persistent, but be like more on the nose on like, okay, when are Manor and Quat's what's the forecast for X, Y, and Z? But really it's what's best, what's coming down from Florabella. They happen to have 20 pounds of such and such. Chef Juan, what do you want to do? Where do you want it to go? Where do you want it to land? Because we have that. I mean, that really is a privilege to be able to switch between the properties of the use case, because the way Justa may prepare the broccolini is different than the way Gjelina is going to, which is different than the way we're going to use it at retail, at grocer. So it's like everything's coming from what's best off the tree, what's best coming out of the fields, and that's what's going to drive any of the seasonal shifts.
As for the food we had, I'm not going to go into that much detail, but we did a couple of salads, we did a pizza, we did some snapper, we did some duck confit, some roasted sweet potatoes, some Brussels sprouts, some dessert, all really, really good stuff where, I mean, you could really just taste that they were, I mean, everything from the arugula to the plums, and I mean, just absolutely everything, the height of freshness coming from great producers. And that's really where I am in my culinary career these days, or as a foodie, as an eater, I suppose. I'm so much more into the ingredients than I am the technique right now at this particular point in time. So
That's fair.
it's a very, very cool restaurant for that. And I would definitely recommend going to it. I don't know what its Vegas market is. I mean, they're from LA. It seems like a totally LA fucking idea, right? Like, but who in the Venetian is that into the farm to table thing? If it's not going to be explained to them how they're going to pitch it, what their marketing is going to be, that I still have a big question mark over my head. Fortunately, that's not my job. All I had to do was fucking eat the food, and it was very, very good.
Well, I'm excited to check it out because like you said, I love to nerd out on something like that. And when somebody's passionate about what they're talking about and can keep you interested, that's somebody I want to sit in front of for sure. Thank you.
So that was a lot of fun, but I had to leave before dessert to go to High Stakes. And as you all know, we've been talking about it for a long time. James Trees and his team are taking over the old Voodoo Steaks space at the top of the Rio. It's on the top floor. It has an outdoor patio, which I didn't get to see when I was up there. But you know, it's an old school steakhouse, really cool. It's James's first time. No, I'm sorry. I think it's the first time a big major casino hotel has had a place that is developed by a born and raised Vegas born chef.
I mean, such a
Like
unicorn
that, right?
idea. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so super cool. We went for friends and family dinner. So for those of you who don't know, and I know most people that are listening, a lot of people that listen to this are in the industry or they're friendly with people in the industry, but if don't know, before a place opens up, before they have their medium meals, before they have their soft opening, before they start taking reservations, before all of that, there's usually a couple nights of friends and family dinner. It's like a rehearsal meal.
Yeah.
The deal is they work out the kinks and we get free food. It would be stupid and rude to ever critique a friends and family meal. It doesn't make any fucking sense, right? It's like getting invited to a band rehearsal. I mean, I've been lucky enough, famous bands that I know will say, hey, we're going out on tour, come down to the rehearsal, right? And you're watching them and you feel like the luckiest bastard in the world, and you see the mistakes and they stop and they start songs over again and you don't give a shit. You don't complain, right? Because you're just so happy to be there. To me, that's what a friends and family meal is. So if you're ever invited to a friends and family meal, my advice to you is the only thing you should ever say is thank you, and then maybe talk about some highlights. I don't want to hear about anything that went wrong. I don't want to hear about anything that could do better because it's a fucking rehearsal, okay? And by the way, we had a fantastic time that night. You know, some dishes ran out early, you know, like the things that happen.
Yeah.
But it was really, really fun. So I'm just going to tell you about a few of the highlights. First of all, I love the room. It's a great throwback to old Vegas. It looks a lot bigger than it actually seats because it's built sort of around the perimeter of that.
Oh,
that
that's
building,
right. Yeah.
you know. So it looks a lot bigger and a lot more sprawling, but it's not as huge. I think it seats maybe 200 or 220, something like that. What did we get? First of all, okay, I knew I was in for a good day when the bread came, and I found out that James Trees is finally serving free bread.
Ooh.
And I said, damn, James, my years of hounding you must have paid off. To which he said, fuck you, Al. That was his answer. But they make this fantastic bread, really, really good. And it comes with a mustard butter. Ooh. And I actually thought there was dill in the mustard butter, but it turned out there was dill in the bread. Right? But really, really good. We all know that James Trees does bread fantastically everywhere. He usually charges for it. It is worth it, but I hate paying for bread. So I feel like I've won a moral victory in this place. And by the way, my meal was comped. I wasn't going to pay for anything, but you know, like for me, this is a moral victory. They also had a lot of game meat, like 4 different game meat items.
Ooh, yes,
Sue and I had venison and bison. They were fucking fantastic. I know there's also an elk chop on the menu, one other that I just can't remember, but we loved that. Other highlights, desserts, a pie caken, which is like a turducken for sugar. It's like a sugar infused fucking turducken. It's a cherry pie inside of a cheesecake with chocolate mousse on top, and then like a huge layer of chocolate mousse, and then chocolate shavings on top of that.
Oh my
So it's
God.
just fucking stupid, ridiculous, over the top. I would have taken it home, but they were actually out of the take-home containers that night. As I said, working out the kinks, man. So it was really good. James really wanted me to get a souffle. I just didn't. It was my second dinner of the night. I really couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But do you remember the ice creams they used to do at Ada's?
Yeah, best ice cream.
Best ice cream ever, right?
Yep.
And it cost more to make than they were able
But that
to
was the
sell
name
it
of it
for.
too. It was called Best Ice Cream in the little corner.
Yes.
Yep, when you first walk in the door.
I love that place. And James tells me that all of his restaurants serve ice cream, but I don't usually stick around till dessert.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. I have dessert at the very end of my night before I go to bed. I have something sweet, right? That's me.
Yeah.
But so I guess all of his restaurants do have ice cream, but this is the first time I have had James Tree's ice cream in a fucking while. Butter pecan, fucking amazing. Coconut, fucking amazing. Just seriously. Congratulations, bravo to everybody there. I spoke to James, Chef Trees, and asked him how it felt to finally be serving some guests.
The team and I are figuring out how this machine is going to work. I mean, running a steakhouse is the hardest opening because you have to nail cooking meat to perfection. And so we've been working on that a lot. We've had her cooked for 8 days, and we're already, like tonight we'll do 230 covers. So it's a lot of growing pains. It's a lot of figuring out systems. It's about finding out who's going to order what, and then how people are going to use the restaurant. And we're learning a lot every single day right now.
Okay, so that was, I think, my Thursday night and Friday. I don't know. The days all fucking run together. But the menus for the Hospitality Charitable Foundation. And this was another one of those dine around things that they have at the Palms Pool, which is a great place to have them. The weather did not cooperate.
Oh.
I was driving through the worst fucking thunderstorm to get there. It's an outdoor poolside thing. But you know what? They moved on their feet. They relocated inside. They activated the Green Street space. They activated the El Popular space that used to be the Bobby Flay space. It was more past food than it was stations, although there were still some stations. Chaos, they activated more areas than they had planned to. So they did a great job with some really, really rough circumstances. And I spoke to Michael Kennedy about that. But first, we spoke about why they do this for the scholarships.
Our board consists of about 25 food and beverage and hospitality professionals and executives throughout the Valley. And our mission is to provide full ride college scholarships for local hospitality students, Clark County students who want to enter the field of hospitality, but might not have the means. So they're coming from low income families, some diverse backgrounds, and we fundraise all year long to provide those scholarships for them. But beyond that, not just a scholarship organization, we provide mentorship as well. So each student gets paired with a different board member each collegiate year. We help them with jobs, internships. Our students are working these events. They're here today putting on menus. This is not just, the Palms team and a few of us doing it. Our students are hands-on. They do 4 events a year with us. So by the time they graduate, they are head and shoulders above their peers.
You guys have to roll with the punches a little bit tonight. How you dealing with the weather?
I can't mess with Mother Nature, so we overcome, and that's you pivot, and that's what we do. So we have a great venue here at the Palms. We activated the second floor of Chaos. We opened up a couple of restaurants here. We're moving around, so the Palms team has been incredibly flexible with us, so making it work.
And then just one more right now, about a half hour ago, Sue and I sitting around the house. I went over to Proper Sandwich. And I want to say 2 things. They're fucking fantastic. Always go to Proper Sandwich on Rainbow. Great sandwich spot. I did their blackened chicken sandwich on marble rye. Really fucking good.
Ooh.
And then they do crispy chicken skin in there with it that they lay on it, right? So good. But here's my recommendation for Proper Sandwich, which I don't think anybody else in the world recommends. Get their fucking cookies. Next time you want a cookie, go to Proper Sandwich. I don't know who makes their cookies for them, but they're fucking fantastic. In my opinion, perhaps the best cookies in Las Vegas. So there's my recommendation.
Any particular cookie?
Right now, sitting there waiting for me to eat one of them tonight before bed or share one with Sue tonight before bed. I have a lemon with white chocolate.
Ooh.
And then I also have a caramel sea salt.
Oh, you've got me there for sure. For sure.
Yes. So, and that's about it for where I've eaten in the past week.
Well, coming up in the show, a happy hour report. Fabio Viviani is at the opening of Pearls in the JW Marriott, and a new outdoor lounge, the Mob Museum, opens up. But first, Al visits pastry chef Korey Wells at Whiskful Thinking Cakes. This is Food and Loathing.
So I'm here for this segment. I can't believe that this place, I'm sitting in Whiskful Thinking Bakery, a cake shop, and it is so fucking close to my house. It's basically on Fort Apache and Tropicana. And I am I never knew it was here. Also, I'm interviewing somebody that I'm supposed to be interviewing for about 7 years, and I never did. So we're finally speaking to, tell everybody who you're speaking to.
Hi guys, I'm Korey Wells.
There we go. So Korey, just to give people some background, I've been hearing about your cakes for so long, and I've had little pieces of your cakes sent back to me because my former next door neighbor is related to you, and whenever my wife would go to, whatever, baby showers or things like that, they always had desserts from you, and she always said, you have to interview this woman, you have to interview Korey. And I'm like, yeah, I will. Never did. And then I saw you at Desserts Before Dinner with the Girl Scouts the other day. Our mutual friend Emmy introduced us, and I was like, I'm finally going to interview you. So this is a long time coming. Thanks for being patient for me.
Thanks for having me. It's super exciting.
Cool. How long has this bakery been here?
We're going on 4.5 years. I've been in the business about 12, but physical location about 4.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So I want to talk first. I'm going to go deep into background, but let's talk about, is this like a walk-in bakery where I could come in and just get cookies, or is this a custom-only shop?
Primarily, we are custom. We like to focus on those really elaborate, over-the-top designs, but we do have a lot of retail stuff that you can come in and grab cupcakes. We do ring dings, or my version of a ding dong. I love that nostalgic treat kind of a thing. So we have some fun, creative items that you can come pick up too.
Okay, cool. I love cake bakeries in this town. Like, I never knew how many fantastic pastry chefs who maybe I know from a restaurant on the Strip or I know from a restaurant off the Strip kind of keep, on the side, they make really cool cakes.
Yeah.
But you didn't come that route. You actually came to this. Was it more of a hobby? I knew you were an artist. I knew you were trained as an artist, which makes sense. But tell us a little about that first.
Yeah, so I was trained for editorial illustration, so like children's books, like editorial, like Rolling Stone, that sort of thing. I love to paint, I love art, love creating. Had my kids, and my mother-in-law used to make cakes for Costco, and she was making their birthday cakes, and I said, well, I want to try to make a birthday cake. And it was my daughter's 3rd birthday, and I made her first cake, and it was like love at first sight. I just fell in love with it, and I traded in my paintbrushes, and I said, I guess it's spatulas now, and here I am making cakes 11, 12 years later.
I love that. I always love when I see artists doing something that takes their artistic, talent, but into a different field, right? And I mean, like tattoo artists fascinate me for that. And people who decorate cakes fascinate me for that. Was it the decorating part that appealed to you?
Definitely the decorating part, but I think honestly, like gallery shows, you'll spend months and months working on pieces of art that don't go anywhere. People don't buy them. You're stuck with them for a while, and it actually really kills your creativity to see the same stuff around all the time. Mm-hmm. Cakes, there's always a demand for it. People take it, they go away. You have to make another one. It was like this constant drive of creativity that never felt stagnant, and I don't know. There's something about the process that I love.
How good a baker were you before you decided that you wanted to do this?
Well, I was not a baker whatsoever. I mean, I come from a big Italian family, always had to know how to cook. I'm a great cook. So I thought, how hard could it be? I spent about 2 years forcing my family to try every single thing I made until I got it right. And I don't know, it kind of came naturally. So I'm blessed with that, Are
you completely self-taught in baking, or have you gone and gotten some classes on specific techniques, etc.?
School of YouTube. I am completely self-taught. I mean, I love to eat, so I know what tastes good to me, and yeah, here we are.
Awesome. Okay, let's set the stage for people. What is one of the crazier cakes that you have made over the course of your career?
I mean, I've competed on Food Network, so, of course you get asked to make these over-the-top cakes that you wouldn't normally get to make in a regular, client environment. So those moving parts, those lights that they want to see you do, my Halloween cakes for them were definitely the most extravagant. But these conventions that come into town, I'm starting to get a name for myself. I made a ketchup bottle for Heinz. I've done some album premieres for people recreating their album covers. So it just kind of, it crosses paths with people that I would have normally in any other form not had any reason to interact with, and so it's a really wild ride.
Yeah, and I assume that corporate stuff is in every city if for the proper baker. But Vegas has some really unique opportunities, right? I mean, because every time I'm at so and so celebrates their 10th anniversary show on the Strip, there's like a cake backstage, and it's always something crazy.
Yeah.
Have you done anything for people in the entertainment field?
I've done some stuff for the Latin Grammys, which was really, really cool. My friend Tyler is releasing his album on Halloween, so I'm doing that for American Monster. I would love to do more of that. I'm trying to tap in. A lot of the hotels kind of have a monopoly on that, especially if they're performing within their property. They like to use their bake shops. I get it. But if anybody's listening, I would love to make them.
Well, back when I used to work at the Review Journal, people would send us cakes commemorating their things that they wanted us to write about. So we'd get crazy cakes all the time. I just put them out for the vultures because you can't try to eat food in an office. I'm not an office guy.
Yeah, I'm not an office person either whatsoever.
Okay, so what do you offer here? Is there specific things, and then I want to talk about TV once we get to that, but
sure.
Are there specific things that you do and don't offer, or do people just come in here and you work with them to design stuff?
I love to work with them to design stuff. I mean, we will copy and paste if you really want an exact cake that you find. We're running into a lot of these AI generated cakes that has kind of been a new phenomenon because people see this stuff and are like, well, that's not really realistic. Like, that's not real. I don't know if I can make that edible, but I could try. I love working on dummy cakes. I've had a new thing where people want these big elaborate faux cakes because I get them back. Like if you look around the shop, there's a lot of cakes that were returned because they don't know what to do with them. So I get to make them, then I get to display them. But no, we're far more custom. I love to bring your vision to life.
I want to talk about those faux cakes for a second because I've seen a few of those in my day. So it basically, is this like somebody comes in and they want to do something that's really extravagant, they're really crazy, but they're not going to sit there and cut a 3-tier cake in the middle of their business dinner. And so do you give them a side cake that they cut then?
Yeah, definitely. So we get a serving size, we create whatever the cake is of their dreams, but then they get sheet cakes that get cut in the kitchen. So everyone gets their servings and they don't have to mess up the cake. And, they can be really tricky. And sometimes, like I said, the things that people want to see on their cake aren't necessarily always best achieved in an edible fashion. So if you just want something that's really cool to look at, then I could use my artistic background and find non-conventional ways to do that. And it's right up my alley.
And then if it's not on a real cake, you don't have to worry about making everything 100% edible, which I assume you would have to do on a real cake.
Yes, definitely. Or, make sure it's very clear lines of what is and isn't so they know where to cut and where not to, it makes it so much nicer, especially for my artist brain. I love that freedom.
But, then you can't smash the cake in somebody's face.
Yeah, we don't recommend that anyway, with dowels and danger and all sorts of things.
Okay, be careful out there, brides and grooms. You've done a lot of TV. I mean, for somebody, especially for a pastry chef, because I know a lot of the pastry chefs from the casinos, get on shows like that. But you've done Food Network a few times. You've been a Food Network champion. You've done some other things. Can you tell me a bit about your television experience? Yeah,
it was during COVID, and I got approached by an HBO Max program called Baketopia with Rosanna Panzino. If you're in the cake world or you're like crafty, you'll be very familiar with her YouTube channel. At the time, I was so small and at home that I couldn't believe that this opportunity was finding me through Instagram of all places. And I went all by myself during COVID and had to quarantine for a week before we filmed. And what a wild experience. And then after that, I did Food Network twice. We had to go to Canada. And it's such a different experience, and every time I'm there I just can't believe I'm there, and it's motivating and awesome.
I was hoping you were going to say that during COVID you did Is It Cake? Have you seen that show?
Yes.
Because that's the dumbest ass show I've ever seen, but I sometimes I just have to watch it.
I'm a little tired of the realism cakes. I get it, but it's kind of the fun of it is like, because it is cake, you know, it's playing with it. And sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. It looks like a lemon, but I want something else.
Well, yeah,
that's just me.
I mean, you know, if you're doing a hockey player's cake, you know, you don't want it to look exactly like them. You want to use your artistic talent to interpret it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I've made many of those hockey player cakes, and I actually really enjoy it. The families are great, but yeah, you know, you want to have your own voice. I want people to, when they see my cake, they know that's a Korey cake or that's a Whiskful cake, and that's why I'm really picky about curating my team too. We're so small. There's only 3 of us women that actually decorate. Only a team of 7. That's why we get booked really fast, you know. But I like it small. I like control of the creativity like that.
Do you sign your cakes?
I don't, but you know, it's not a bad idea. I know there's some bakeries in town, like Freed's has like a little Freed's coin and that sort of thing. Maybe I need to come up with a creative way to.
I mean, you know, everybody's going to take a picture of it. Let's just get your logo right there in the picture.
Yeah, maybe, or like hide like a little golden whisk somewhere throughout the design each time.
Oh man. I've watched pastry chefs work, and it's really amazing. There's some that specialize in sugar, some that are amazing with the fondant and how they can sculpt that. What buttercream is another really popular decorating. What materials do you use to create, and which do you like for what reasons?
I love to paint. So I love to paint with buttercream. I love to paint with food colors. I like to create kind of that bridge between my fine art and an edible art piece. I do love to sculpt too. Not much. I don't love working with fondant, but I have a team that does. So we have your bases covered there. But as far as I love buttercream, I love texture. I love palette knife. I like it to feel very immediate, the way I would paint on a canvas to paint on a cake. That just translates to me very well.
How about sugar work? Do you do any of that, or is that a specialty for like super, 1% of people do it or something?
I do it.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely enjoy it. To say that I'm a master of it would be wildly inaccurate. I mean, it's such a skill. But I've gotten into, making molds and being able to cast things out of sugar and playing with it at a very novice level.
Okay. How long does it take you to make an average cake in this store, and then how long did it take you to make an extravagant cake on TV?
Oh gosh. TV smoke and mirrors. I don't know how much I should really divulge on that.
Trust me, I tell people all the time, I've done food TV. The food's never hot when they serve it to me. I'm supposed to judge it. So, I just want to know realistically, those shows do make the savory chefs really speed up and think on their feet. But baking is something of a science. Some will say that, cooking is an art, baking is a science, because you can't skip, turn it up a little higher and leave it in a little less time. So yeah. I'm assuming you had to take more time. So I'm wondering that the time on a TV show, the real time, not the time that takes place on the TV, about how long does that take, and how does that compare to something here?
Well, I mean, let's see. So on camera, they say we have 5 hours to make that cake, when in theory we were on set 19 hours. So that's the stuff that's getting done. Actually, on set, 19 hours of work. It's exhausting. But there's tons of work leading up to that, weeks ahead, stuff done at home, stuff to prepare to make it look like that TV magic of it getting done. Something that elaborate would probably take me a full 2 weeks planning, especially by myself without a team. That's where the cost comes in sometimes, when people see that sticker shock and you're like, yeah, but I'm creating something totally custom for you. So
yeah, let's get to that, because a lot of people would love to have a custom cake, but they just go down to the supermarket and have them write their kid's name on it or something, because they feel like doing custom work is out of the reach of the average person. So how where do they start, and serving how many people for X dollars, and then how crazy can you go?
We like our customs to start at about $150. That's about our sweet spot, and that'll usually serve about 8 to 10. It's definitely customized to you. It's not really over the top, not super elaborate. I mean, they can go crazy. We've had $5,000-$6,000 cakes for a first birthday before. It's just, it's crazy, but we'll do whatever you want. I definitely like inclusion. I don't want people to come in here and think I'm not for them. I'll always work with you, because I think it's really important to have that special moment on a birthday. We donate a lot too, so that we try to make up for the fact that, yeah, we know we're a little high end, but we're not inaccessible. Right. So I donate to foster kids, cure for cancer. We do a lot of the chemo kids cakes. I donate a lot to the schools. My husband's also in public education, so I'm always giving back to Clark County, and I don't know, there's balance.
Cool. How far in advance, if somebody's thinking ahead and planning a party, how far in advance should the ordering and planning of the cake come?
It kind of goes hand in hand with what you're looking for. I mean, if you're looking for this highly designed cake that's going to require me personally to do it, I say 8 weeks because I need time. I'm very limited. I'm only one person. If you're looking for something a little more simple, we might be able to fit you in within a 2-week, 1-week notice. So it really depends on what you're looking for. But if you have this big vision in mind and you want this elaborate, detailed thing and you want all our attention, the more time you can give us, the better, so that we can accurately give you that time.
When you see a fantastic cake at an event, you immediately just look at it and you want to know how beautiful it is. And then you try not to eat too much fondant and that kind of stuff because it'll fill you up. But a lot of people don't talk about what the actual underlying cake is. Do you work with only specific flavors and styles of cake? Or do you, could you do an angel's food cake or something like that, or a black forest cake, or things like that?
That's probably one thing that we're most known for, is we have such an extensive flavor menu. And for me, ultimately, it has to taste good. Like, I don't want this beautiful cake that's just a piece of art that you're not going to eat. I want it to be memorable. I want your guests to leave and be like, that was the best damn piece of cake I've ever had in my life, right? So if there's something that you're looking for that isn't on my menu, give me some time. That's where the extra time, give me 8 weeks. Okay. I will figure it out. And I will let you try it multiple times until we get it right. And if it's not right, then we'll try something else. But the creativity goes much further than just the outside. So our inside is special. That's how we got known for our Dubai flavors, all those things, because it has to be spot on for me, or else I'm not letting it leave my bakery, But yes, angel food, a little too soft. Yeah. We tend to work with a much heavier, denser sponge cake.
Angel's food was my favorite cake when I was a little kid, and they'd always get it for me because I loved it. But you can't decorate. At least in my family, we could not decorate a freaking Angel's food cake.
No, it's not weight bearing. There's so many structural things that go into a cake that sometimes people will bring in and they'll be like, well, why can't you do that? And it's like, well, it's really not how it works when you're talking about designing something that's functional or that's going to last when you put it in your car and drive it home. Like, I don't want you to call me like the cake broke. Like, well, yes, it did, because you wanted this. It was not feasible.
Yeah. I mean, I've just gotten a 2-layer cake for, I think it was one of my anniversaries, one of my wedding vow renewals, and we got a pastry chef we know, and it was only 2 tiers, I guess you would call it. I was scared shitless driving that thing home. I mean, I probably came home at about 20 miles an hour on the freeway because I didn't want the cake to fucking slide. I didn't want the cake to do anything. How big a challenge is transportation?
It's so challenging. That's why we work with very cold cakes. Your cake will always be very well chilled if you come to pick it up to drive it yourself. Cold car, we say bring a jacket, keep your car as cold as possible. But I mean, it's so funny because when I first started this, I had no idea what I was doing. And I had a 5-tier cake wedged in the back of my car, no box, no support, nothing. My poor husband sitting in the back trying to hold it. It was a military graduation that we were driving from like Blue Diamond all the way up to Nellis. And like the poor cake was just like waving in the wind the whole way. And I've come a long way from that cake.
Have you ever lost one?
Yes, I definitely have. There's not a lot, but it does happen. You take a turn, you have to slam on your brakes, someone does something stupid, and you see the cake tip, and your life flashes before your eyes. And, what you show up to a 4-tier cake is, at the moment, is now a 2-tiered cake, and the rest is in the kitchen. They're trying to save it. Yeah. It happens, I mean, it's cake, and we're human, and ask for forgiveness.
And gravity applies to cake as well. So if you're going to do something crazy, it's going to be a little tougher to balance. Well, thanks so much for taking some time. I'm glad I had the chance to see your place here. Can you tell people if they're interested in getting one of your cakes, or do you do cupcakes and things like that too? If somebody wanted a collection of cupcakes, that kind of shit. Where do they go to find you? And I'm assuming you probably have a fantastic social media account where we see all these crazy cakes. So tell us about that too.
So, you can go to our website. We have an order inquiry form on there for anything custom. You could always come into the shop and talk to us. We're open Wednesday through Saturday. Our Instagram is definitely more my speed. I'm a little old for the TikTok. I'm trying, guys.
Oh man, I'm still too old for the freaking Instagram anymore. And trust me, I feel you.
It's like a whole nother job, you know? Like, it just takes so much work. And we had a great guy running it for us for a while. It just got a little expensive. You know, times are tough right now. So I'm trying to pick up the pieces. So if it looks different, it's because it's me, guys. I apologize. But Instagram is a great way to see what we do, stay current with us.
What's the handle?
Whiskful Thinking Cakes LV.
Okay.
So we'd love to see you guys.
And that would be WHISKFULTHINKING.
Yes.
Did I get that right?
Yes. That was a little fast for my brain processing. But yes.
I had to move fast because I wouldn't remember where I was if I paused.
Right. Yeah. So whisk, like a baking whisk. We'd love to see you guys, and I look forward to it. To every opportunity, I look forward to it.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for seeing me.
Need a restaurant recommendation? Then you need Neon Feast, the most convenient, most comprehensive, and most trustworthy collection of Las Vegas restaurant recommendations on the internet. Veteran food journalist Al Mancini, whom you might remember from, listening to this podcast, asked the city's top chefs, restaurateurs, critics, journalists, and influencers for their favorite spots in more than 100 categories. Why take the advice of an anonymous online wannabe or a paid influencer? Neon Feast will tell you where people in the industry send their family and friends for a great date night, to watch a big game, or get a taste of Old Vegas. Looking for a great steakhouse? You want a great burger? Maybe a little caviar? Need a place in Summerlin South, the Arts District, or Seven Hills? Las Vegas brings the neon. Local foodies provide the feast at neonfeast.com or the Neon Feast mobile app.
Okay, all you boozers, it is the happiest time of this episode for you. We do it every week. Happy Hour Vegas's Andrew Morgan joins us, and he gives us a report on some of his favorite happy hours. We roughly try to keep it in some kind of category. We're sitting around today saying barbecue season for outside barbecuing is kind of over, but Vegas has a really good barbecue scene. So I asked Andrew if he would please tell me where he likes to go for barbecue at happy hour time. Andrew, welcome back. I hope you were able to pull some together for me.
Thank you, sir. Of course. I mean, this is Vegas, right? There's always something to talk about in terms of the happy hour world, including barbecue. And the good news is barbecue happy hours here in Vegas. There's probably about half a dozen really good ones across the town. Some of them, like Rick's, multiple locations. So, Rick's Rolling Smoke, we know him from Pawn Stars. So, and they've got great happy hour menus, and prices and everything are different per location. So go to happyhourvegas.com. We have it all listed out there. But my go-tos for barbecue happy hour, I have two of them. One of them, I think your favorite is Soul Belly. What do you think?
I love Soul Belly. I love Soul Belly for live music. I love Soul Belly for barbecue. I love Soul Belly because they got a great whiskey selection behind that bar. They have great bartenders. I've never done a happy hour there.
So happy hour, yeah, agreed with you on that, Soul Belly. The vibe is so fucking, it's great. And it's original. It's good. It's a good quality food, great smoke. They have happy hour almost every day. So Tuesday to Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. So that's a good 3-hour window, during the week. And you're talking about house cocktails for $10. The beer and the shot. Got to have that when you're at barbecue for $10 as well. My go-to, I love this one. The cornbread slider. It is pulled pork, creamy coleslaw, jammed together, piled high on a little slider. It's fucking $5, man. Like, you're talking barbecue, you're talking beer and a shot, $15. It is awesome.
And those of you wondering about Soul Belly Barbecue, what style is it, blah, 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 the barbecue. I know there's a lot of you barbecue purists out there. There is a good story about this. They mix and match some styles, but where this was really developed was by Italian celebrity chef. He's not Italian, but his food. He was known as an Italian food chef. Celebrity chef Bruce Coleman used to hang out with Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, met at a charity event, serving barbecue, and started working together, developing their own barbecue. So if you go to Soul Belly, you're actually eating barbecue that was developed by a Foo Fighter.
I see. That's why it's rock and roll. And that's why they have live music. That makes total sense. I love it. Look, they had me at the $7 chip brisket slider, chop brisket slider. So, but yeah, the vibe there is supersonic. Also, by the way, they have a reverse happy hour that just started. So, and that's only on the weekends. So if you guys are thinking late night barbecue, coming after a show, before before the show, whatever it is, 9 to 10 p.m., Fridays, Saturday nights, you're getting some real deal happy hour barbecue at Soul Belly. Fucking good shit, man.
Okay, where else do you like? Any other barbecue joints in this town? I mean, we've got great barbecue. You go to Neon Feast, you'll see all kinds of places. There's Wild Fig. There's, there's just really good barbecue. Big B's, Texas barbecue. But they're happy hours, some of them have them, some of them don't. So what other one has a really great happy hour?
So if you're on the Strip, Virgil's is great. It's at the Link Promenade. That's every day. And also some house-made cocktails, some really easy good, just barbecue tri-tip, chicken wings and stuff like that. They got a nice little outdoor patio that's going on there. So there's some good people watching, especially at the Link Promenade. There's all sorts of hot messes going by there. But actually, I'm a suburbs guy. I'm out of Summerlin, but I like Lucille's. And even though that's kind of California barbecue, it's actually really, really good stuff. And Lucille's...
There's no such thing as California barbecue. California barbecue is grilling, for fuck's sake.
I know, right? So, but Lucille's is good. It's at the Red Rock and the one in Summerlin. They also have one in the Green Valley Ranch in Henderson. Again, they also have a reverse happy hour. But also what I like about Lucille's is that if you're a VGK fan, I am, they have game day happy hour. So essentially, if there's a hockey game and you're there for happy hour, they'll extend the happy hour times for during the game day. So that's pretty cool. And what are we talking about for a happy? Bone and fried chicken plate, $7. Man, this is pretty good. I know it's fried chicken, it's not barbecue, but it's still damn good, and I like that one. You're always going to get cocktails and beers and stuff like that for $6, $5, so that's pretty good. They also have really good pulled pork sandwich, $11. And this is the full size thing, so there's some barbecue there. And then they're kind of fun, famous for both their barbecue rib tips, $9 at happy hour, good platter right there, and then cracked out deviled eggs. They got some jalapenos, they got some all sorts of shit shaking on there. It is really real deal stuff. So, and they've got these margaritas and these kicking whiskeys and all sorts of other stuff, and a good vibe. Go watch the hockey game, get some happy hour, get some great food. That's Lucille's. I'm a fan.
Awesome. I haven't been to Lucille's in a while, so I'll have to get back in there. Thank you very much, Andrew. Always a pleasure to have you. You're going to keep coming back every week, I hope.
If you'll have me, man. I can keep talking about happy hour until the cows come home.
Let's just keep doing it. And, of course, you want to go to happyhourvegas.com. You get all this information. They are the Neon Feast of happy hours. So you go find where you're eating at Neon Feast. You go find where you're happy hour in a Happy Hour Vegas. If they happen to cross over, you're really in fucking business, right?
It's the trifecta, man. That's what you want. Barbecue, hockey, and cheap drinks.
Thank you, Andrew. And now it is time for the news. Hey, I got something from the VGK this week. I'm a season ticket holder over there. I split them with some of our friends and that kind of shit. So, I'm the one whose name is on the account, so I get all the fucking announcements, which really makes everybody else that shares the season tickets with me crazy because I don't forward all of them because they send all sorts of shit. But I don't know if you've heard about this, but they're doing a locals menu at Vegas Golden Knights games at T-Mobile.
I like this idea.
A bunch of items that are $5.50 each for locals. And that is nachos, hot dog, pretzel, water, and soda. Again, now this is clearly a response to the fact that people are saying Vegas is getting too expensive. And look, as much as I think there have always been bargains, I encourage people to do more bargains. And I love this because the food's been getting more and more expensive at every VGK game. And I understand they have to make money. I mean, part of building an arena is that you rent out the spaces to food vendors and you have to charge them a certain amount to pay your fucking debt on the arena. I know nothing about finance, right? But, and then they've got to charge obscene amounts of money. And that's just how it works. You want a hockey team, that's what you got to fucking do, right? But the VGK appear to be kind of subsidizing this because it's only at Vegas Golden Knights games. You get those items. And I saw one of my friends online when I posted this said that people were complaining. I haven't been to a game. No, I've been to preseason, but I haven't been to a regular season game yet. But somebody was complaining that these are like a little smaller, like maybe the soda's smaller or something like that. Honestly, that does not fucking bother me. Part of the reason things are always fucking expensive at events like this is because you can only buy the super jumbo bonus more than you can ever eat. You're going to spill it on the way out your door fucking soda, right? Seriously. So if the only way you can keep prices down, make it affordable for families to hopefully come there, I believe the Silver Knights are doing the same thing, but at $5 instead of $5.50. Double check that one. I don't know it for sure. And the Silver Knight's also doing free parking, by the way.
Nice.
So I'm mentioning all of this because I think people should get out. There's no more Aces games this season. Congratulations, Aces. But that was always an affordable thing to do. VGK may not be super affordable, but if you can afford the tickets, they're making it easier for you to eat. And there's Henderson Silver Knights, which I encourage people to go check out. You'll be seeing the people who are playing for the VGK, when the next time somebody gets hit in the spleen.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I'm trying to forget who I have, but I have a puck from one of the guys that signed it when he was a Silver Knight, and then I got it at an event when he was a Golden Knight. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
I got a puck at the one game I went to. A friend of ours gave me like second row seats, and I got a puck. And Sue was so excited I caught a puck, and then we're walking around the concourse. This is before they moved to Henderson. This is when they were at the Orleans. And I saw a little kid, right? And she was pointing at my hair, and I always see Sue's in the restroom. And so I was like, "Hey, look, I caught a puck. Do you want it?" And then mom's like, "Oh, thank you." And she takes the puck, and Sue comes out as I'm handing the puck to the little kid, and Sue's like, "That was my puck." So, well, you can't take it back from the small child, baby. Okay, so now I love it. I've been way off on a tangent.
Oh, that's okay.
Hey, new oyster bar in the JW Marriott, Pearls by Chef Fabio Viviani. It's now open. I dropped by for a media event and I asked Chef Fabio, of course, celebrity chef. He's already got an Italian restaurant. I asked him what Pearls is all about.
Pearls is your Louisiana South oyster bar meets Mediterranean Riviera, or the Venetian Lagoon, an Italianized version of your classic seafood diner, oyster bar with a hint of Mediterranean crudos.
So it's a casual spot. Could you speak to that? It's kind of not a place you make reservations for, but a place that you just show up and eat.
Correct. There is 16 seats at the bar. It's a first come, first serve type of scenario. And yes, it's casual. You walk in the hotel promenade from the beautiful tower to the casino. You eyeball the place. You're in the mood for a glass of sparkling and a couple of oyster, or for a seafood boil. That's the spot.
I also got to sample a lot of food with my other media pals there. I never want to start with the one that the only thing that I have a complaint about, but fuck it, I will. The crudo, overly dressed. It was really, really great flavor combinations and flavor profile, but just please show some respect to the fucking fish. I really wanted to taste the fish. So my only complaint, I had a great pan roast, and I'm a guy who likes pan roasts, man. Yeah. I know they were invented at casinos, and I think, but I love me a good pan roast, and it was great. They did a cool seafood tower. They do a clam bake where they throw everything in the bag all together in the pot, and so you get a crawfish, and you get a little tiny baby broken off ear of corn. You get all that kind of stuff. Clam bake was great. Gumbo, really kind of heavy roux on that. Gumbo has a roux, right? That's the base of a gumbo? Yeah, yep. Okay. Really heavy, really dark, really flavorful. Scampi, opposite end, very light, very fresh tasting. Did some cool ceviches, and they do oysters Rockefeller. They do their own spin on oysters Rockefeller. So I definitely recommend you go there. And speaking of them and other places, October is National Seafood Month. And you probably know seafood's kind of having a big moment on the strip now.
Yeah.
I mean, great new seafood spots over the past year, including Pisces at Wynn Las Vegas, Bazaar Mar by Jose Andres, and the Crystal Shops, both of which are just fucking phenomenal high-end seafood restaurants. So I just dropped by Bazaar Mar this week to speak to Chef Daniela Romero about seafood in Las Vegas. And she began by dispelling that annoying myth that it is hard to get good seafood, in our desert.
We're in the center of the universe, right? Everybody comes here. We're so close to the West Coast, but we're also so close to anything because this is the chef's playground, right? So we can get any type of seafood from Tokyo markets all the way to Galicia, all the way to Pacific Northwest within hours, right? So it's not crazy to me, not anymore. It's just understanding that now that we have the chefs that we have in the strip, they ask for excellence, and we have great relationship with our vendors and our fishermen and our purveyors, and they just make it happen.
Chef Andres has restaurants all over the world. How does getting seafood, getting the exact types of seafood you want here in Las Vegas, how's that compare to other cities that you've been in with his restaurants?
I thanks to him and what he's created in the industry, I think people cater to help bring what he wants here. So we have a company that brings our puntitas, or baby squid, right, from Spain, caught, frozen, brought immediately here to keep the freshness of it. But I think it's because of the reputation he has and people really wanting to give him the best.
This is a very modern seafood restaurant. It's always going to be taking kind of risks and do things that people would not necessarily expect from other chefs. I think Jose Andres is known for that. What is your approach to seafood, and how might it be a little different than what people grew up eating?
It's all about, I think right now the trend is honesty, right? Where are we sourcing our fish? You know, when it was caught, where it comes from, the waters it lived in, right? So that is one of the trends. But I think the most important thing is making the trend of like luxury, make it approachable. So uni en una tostada or caviar in a bar bite, right? But the science of avant-garde and what Jose does, he does it to enhance the seafood. So we serve the best scallop, the sweetest scallop, and then we just enhance it with a little bit of that science.
And the Mott Museum has a new outdoor lounge area known as the Starlight Plaza. Our friend Andrew Morgan of Happy Hour Vegas was at their grand opening party, where he spoke with the museum's senior director of food and beverage, Clint Thoman, about what they have going on.
So the Starlight Plaza is the museum's outdoor venue where we pay homage to the golden age of Las Vegas, a time when, you know, the city really shimmered with the elegance and cool. Right, the nostalgia people have for, you know, vintage Vegas is really that time between the late 1940s and the 1960s.
That's amazing. So vintage Vegas, is that what people can expect when they're here at the Starlight Lodge?
So the Starlight, we tell the story of vintage Vegas through our vibrant artwork by local artist Snipped, our live entertainment lineup that features music from the era, and then our wonderful cocktail program that pays homage to vintage Vegas, including our new Golden Age Happy Hour, Thursday through Sunday, 5 to 7, 5 classic cocktails for just $5.
So that's a great happy hour. I'm all about happy hours. And the live music in the background, is that going to be part of the program?
So Saturdays and Sundays we'll have live entertainment out here during the day into the evening. And then every other Thursday, we're doing Latin jazz.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And then later this month, on the 30th, October 30th, we're hosting our signature cigar event, Sip and Smoke, where every cocktail purchase gets you a complimentary cigar. And again, we'll have live music and drink specials.
Love that. When is that again?
October 30th.
So Halloween, just before Halloween.
Yeah, we roll
perfect.
right into our Halloween party the next night. The Halloween party will take place in the Starlight and in our underground speakeasy.
Okay.
Live music in both venues, drink specials, and costume contests.
And they're somewhat independent. You don't have to buy a ticket to come to the Starlight. You can just come here, hang out, enjoy the ambiance.
Yeah, guests can come, either guests leaving the museum can come and have a cocktail to kind of unwind, or if you're just walking down the street and you see this beautiful outdoor venue, you want to stop and have a cocktail, come on in.
And the Italian restaurant Sofia, that's Sofia, which currently has locations in Toronto and Miami as well, will bring its food to the Virgin Resort for a pop-up running November 11th through the 22nd. If those dates are ringing a bell, you may be a KISS fan or an F1 fan. The former is recreating the KISS cruise on dry land at the Virgin with something called Landlocked in Las Vegas that will be hosted by Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Tommy Thayer November 14th through the 16th. And the big race, of course, that's F1, will be coming back November 20th through the 22nd.
They've got a good place. If you're at the Virgin, that's a good spot to watch fucking F1, man.
It really is. You're right in the thick of where they start kind of closing things off to make things, you know, easier for the race and the people who are coming in for the special events. So yeah, that's kind of awesome.
And so there you got an Italian pop-up while you're there for KISS.
Absolutely. Cool. Do I have to wear the makeup to the pop-up, or do I get to wear the makeup to the pop-up?
I think you get to. This is fucking Vegas, man.
Exactly, right? Like, I'm just making sure that's in there. Here's a tease for you. The landmark Ferraro's, we all love Ferraro's, celebrating its 40th anniversary in November with a couple of great promotions. 40 years. Oh, my God. including some insane throwback pricing on November 7th and some fantastic wine deals selected by Gino Ferraro November 10 through the 13th. We'll have more details soon and an interview with Mimo Ferraro when we get a little bit closer to those dates. But oh man, consider me teased. I cannot wait for this.
Let me tell you this: that we could be able to go in for lunch and get some dishes for below $5.
Oh my God!
For below $5.
I'm gonna make sure I'm here the whole time, and I'm just gonna sit at Ferraro's and eat, and then go over to the Kiss thing.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. For more news, as always, just a reminder, make sure you check out foodandloathing.vegas. That's where our writers keep you up to date with everything happening in the restaurant world, including Bob Barnes, who publishes his weekly dining and entertainment guide every Tuesday. Sometimes you'll even see us pop up longer interviews like you did recently with Letitia, where we've had somebody on the podcast, that Chef Letitia from Letitia's Cucina and Chef Letty's on Maine. We'll extend those. But Bob's thing this week has news on Horse Soldier at the Sahara. Horse Soldier, if for those who don't know, is a whiskey, Crab Corner and Huddle beer dinner, Don Julio, that's tequila at Fleming's, and a Craft House chili cook-off. I did that one year. It was good. That's fun.
I judged that a couple of years. That was fun.
It is a lot of fun event. And Bob's going to be a judge at this one. So definitely check out his recent post that went up Tuesday. You can see it every Tuesday, and that tells you kind of what's going on in dining and entertainment. You can also hear Al on Highway Drive Radio, see him on the CW Arcs show, and read his work in the Las Vegas Advisor, while you can find my writings sometimes in The Town, Summerlin. Of course, we're always adding to foodandloathing.vegas. And my goodness, I know we've talked recently about a bunch of places you can find us. We'll just keep on keeping you informed.
Hell yeah, wherever you go, that's where we are talking
about
food. And that is about it for this week. Thank you to all of our guests: Korey Wells, Bethanny Harris, Daniela Romero, Fabio Viviani, James Trees, Michael Kennedy, and of course Andrew Morgan. With Gemini Stevens, on behalf of Rich Johnson, I'm Al Mancini. Stay hungry, people.